You were live.
It's the calm before the storm. It is the day of rest between the long marathon of the baseball season and the stressful month of October. Dodgers start with the Reds tomorrow. Let's talk about it on All Dodgers.
Coming at you live from my home studio, beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. Man, we're changing things up there. I'm stepping all over Jeff's toes to start the show, but it's okay because the Dodgers are in the playoffs and the boys are here, and the playoffs start tomorrow, wild card series. And gentlemen, this is All Dodgers, presented by FanDuel, part of the Bleav Network of podcasts. And while I was watching Dave's pregame, Mookie pregame, a lot of the pregame stuff today, and I'm excited about this team being in a wild card series. We're so used to them bypassing and getting a couple of days off. I think I'm really looking forward to hopefully a nice, simple, easy, smooth bludgeoning of the Reds. But Jeff, how you feeling today?
Well,
the calm before the storm.
First of all, I'll step on your toes and introduce us. That guy right there is Clint. That guy right there is noted Cubs fan Kevin Skinner, and I am Jeff Snyder. Yeah, you know what? I am excited for baseball. I think playoff baseball is a wonderful thing. I think even with Rob Manfred trying to ruin it, Major League Baseball's postseason is still the best postseason in all professional sports. And the Dodgers getting the opportunity for the first time since 2021 to play in the wild card, first time since it became a wild card round, a best of three. Yeah, 3-game series sucks. It's still better than the 1-game series they had to play against the Cardinals in 2021. That went their way, and Dodgers get to do it at home, and we get to, watch Dodger baseball tomorrow. It feels like it's been a long time. I mean, we haven't had a game since yesterday. It's just one off day, but it's different now. And so, yeah, I'm excited that we don't have to sit and wait 5 or 6 days for the postseason to start like we have the last couple of years.
Yeah, we haven't had Dodger baseball for 1 day, and Kevin has already done a mutiny and gone to the Cubs. What's going on here?
I have a Dodgers hat on. I have a Dodgers hat on today.
Explain yourself, poser.
So people know who I'm rooting for tomorrow besides the Dodgers. Jeez, it's not like I want.
Yeah, I mean,
But I will have so for people who don't know, I will have a Dodgers jersey on every single day the Dodgers play. Home games, I will either have Mookie or Shohei, and then away games, I'll have my Walker Buehler jersey on because that's my away jersey. So that being said, I thought today I'd break out a sick Cubs jersey, a jersey I got at a vintage store with some hand stitched cranes or something on it. I don't know. It looked really cool.
And it's worth noting, the Cubs are playing the Padres, and we don't want the Padres to advance. We want them to be squashed there, and Manny Machado look once again like a nincompoop. Yes.
It's Kevin's two teams, though. He's from San Diego, now he lives in Chicago. Kevin's two favorite teams facing off in the wild card round.
Yeah, and I've been to more games at Dodger Stadium than both those places combined. So let's not get it twisted. But in terms of Dodgers baseball, which we're here to talk about, I'm excited. I'm excited to have a playoff series, not against an NL West opponent. It'll be very nice to not have that really early stress of the Diamondbacks, Giants, Padres, something like that. Be great. And on top of that, man, listening to Mookie's pregame pre-series interview, I think the dude is locked. I think he's ready. His swing's right. He's ready to just kind of be yeah, my season sucked, but he's still Mookie effing Betts. I don't know. I'm excited. I think without being energetic, he put a real level of excitement for me tomorrow where I'm yeah, I can't wait. Let's get baseball going again.
Yeah, guys, remember when Mookie sucked? Me neither. So long ago. Got a couple of super chats I want to dive into. Two from Seth Klein. Appreciate Seth hanging out with us, supporting the show, supporting so many endeavors that we do, but saying $2. Let's do it for 22, 13 wins to go, and then later on followed up with a $5 super chat. I'll hit the gong for that. Kevin, this is why I have to defend you all the time. You had a decision that you could have made.
Like Kevin said,
and I'd make it again.
Dodgers have played NL West teams in the postseason way too much. And so, if for no other reason, that's why I'm rooting for the Cubs in that series. Dodgers haven't had a postseason without facing an NL West team since 2019.
Yeah.
And,
it would be
that's
nice.
a long time. So, yeah, I am. We've seen plenty of the NL West. Let's see the rest of the league.
I think that's what excites me. It's it's also not a team that we just played 2 weeks ago.
We've
done a bunch of that too. This is kind of a fresh series, so I'm really excited about it.
And we also got the $2 from Dry Pro Toss. I'm going to hit all the buttons. So let's go Dodgers, launch Kevin into space. And the final one here quickly, $9.99 from Francisco Diaz saying, Jeff, hit it right on the head. It's calm before the storm. I've been as cool, calm, and collected as I can be today, but I promise the anxiety is building as soon as time continues to tick down and we get closer to first pitch tomorrow. Let's talk about I guess roster stuff first. It's already been on the screen. From everything we're kind of seeing, the roster seems to be pretty much set. There's maybe still the Will Smith question mark. He did take batting practice today, and I have a picture or one of the, what are they called, tweets that we could throw up there at some point. There it is. That's the one I'm looking for. But the expectation is, Will is either on the roster or he's not. If he is, chances are likely they end up carrying 3 catchers. Jeff, you were kind of tipped off today. We'll say hashtag sources letting us know that Ben Kasparius is around, likely will not be on that roster, which leads you, and honestly I agree, leads you to believe that it will end up being a 12-man pitching staff with Roki Sasaki making the roster, according to Dave as well. I have that tweet I could plug in here. 2 games is enough for Roki, but also they just didn't have a lot of talent ready and rip roaring to take those spots. But anyways, talk about the pitching situation here in the 12 guys, and I'll put this up for us.
Like we talked about yesterday, when you just do the math and look at who's available, a 12-man pitching staff kind of makes sense because Ohtani is that 13th pitcher. Mm-hmm. Dodgers have the benefit of not having to carry 13 pitchers in order to have 13 pitchers. And so you've got Ohtani there. And, the Dodgers had 14 pitchers on their roster on Sunday, the last day of the regular season. We know Landon Knack won't be on the postseason roster. That gets us down to 13. And then we were told that Clayton Kershaw wouldn't be either. And so that gets us down to 12. And so the only way that you end up with 13 pitchers on the roster is if either Ben Kasparius or Kyle Hurt got called up. And we talked last night about why that seemed unlikely. And then, like you said, this morning I heard from a source that Ben Kasparius has been told that to stay ready, but that he's unlikely to be on the wild card roster. If Kasparius has been told that, it seems like he would be more likely than Hurt anyway, just based on, the fact that Kasparius has pitched in the big leagues in less than the last year. And so, and has postseason experience. There's a lot of reasons why Benny Caps would make more sense than Kyle Hurt. So if Kasparius isn't going to be on the roster, it's probably a 12-man pitching staff, which should be plenty to get through 3 games, hopefully only 2 games. And that does mean that guys like Tanner Scott and Blake Trinan, who nobody is super confident in right now, are going to be on the roster. Yeah. And that's not a surprise. We saw the 2 guys who did effectively pitch themselves off the roster were Michael Kopech and Kirby Yates. And the Dodgers made that official last week, Yeah. And so at this point, you roll with what got you there. The good news is they have enough good arms, living arms, that they don't have to go to Tanner Scott in a 1-run game in the 9th inning. And they won't right now. Tanner Scott will get opportunities in the postseason to show if he has figured things out, but those opportunities will not come in a 1-run game in the 9th inning in a best-of-3 series. That these are must-win games. That as close to it as you can get. Game 1 technically isn't must-win. Game 2 will be must-win for somebody, and it's going to be really, really like to win for the other team. And so those guys who we don't trust won't get the spots, but guys like, Emmett Sheehan and Alex Vesia and Roki Sasaki, guys who have shown, hey, maybe they can do this stuff right now. And there's a lot of other names we could mention there, Jack Dreyer and Anthony Bonda and Justin Robleski. They've got the arms to get it done with a 12-man pitching staff, even without having to go to those guys who make us a little bit nervous.
Yeah, we'll talk more pitching as well. Kevin, I want your thoughts on it, but first I do want to talk about the position player side of things, because we were talking just before going live about, Will Smith is the biggest name on the list that I had put up just a minute ago that if he's not on there, it's likely Hesong Kim getting the nod on the positions player side of the roster. But Max Muncy, both Max Muncy, Tommy Edman should be on the roster, probably both in the lineup. Max pretty much told reporters, "Yeah, I'm gonna be in there. Don't worry about me." But going back to the roster here, Kevin, you thinking Will Smith isn't going to be ready to answer the bell, huh?
I'm just not sure. Nothing has really indicated that he will be. Look, as Jeff mentioned, these are must-win games. It's the playoffs. You cannot lose these games. But I know Ben Rortvedt has, cooled off as of late, but you have to wonder, at least behind the plate, what's better, 85% of Will Smith, who probably can't hold a running game very well because the injury is to his throwing arm, or throwing hand, or Ben Rortvedt, who at least can give you something behind the dish, like defensively. So they might carry 3 catchers. I am really skeptical they actually pull the trigger on Will Smith unless he's feeling absolutely exceptional, because we know, I mean, so Reds team that will run. They have speed on the base paths.
They do have Ellie De La Cruz.
They do have, Gavin Lux, if he gets on base, can also go first to third if he needs. There's real speed on that team. So it's not being talked about a lot, but a good amount of this, series will be limiting base runners, because a guy on first could easily be a guy in scoring position very fast, especially if Will Smith is not 100% behind the plate, ready to gun guys down. You're talking, if he's not 100% healthy, it could be like an Austin Barnes situation back there, where you're not really trusting him to actually be able to throw people out. So I wonder if Ben Rortvedt is the option, simply because you can't. The one thing you cannot do if you're the Dodgers is give away runs.
Yeah.
You cannot let the other team just get free runs off you, whether it's on the base paths, mistakes, or whatever. So I just, as good as Will Smith's bat is, as steady as his heartbeat is, it might be better to say, hey, man, take 2 days, see if you can feel better, and maybe we'll see you in the DS if we're lucky enough to make it, because we got to put the best 9 guys out there, at least defensively. In this spot, because they have 8 other guys that we know offensively. This lineup is easily better than the Reds lineup. It's not particularly close. So they can mask Ben Rortvedt's bat at the bottom of that lineup.
Yeah, and I imagine, Jeff, you agree with a fair amount of that. They say defense wins championships, and if Will can't throw, or if Will, we saw a video of him yesterday.
Compromised?
Yeah, he was handing baseballs off because he's not throwing. If it is something that's compromised, I just don't like. For 2 games, I don't like Will being in there when you could probably survive with Ben Rortvedt, as they have been doing for the last 10 plus days.
Yeah, if Will Smith is on the roster, it's going to be as a pinch hitter. It's going to be so that if Ben Rortvedt comes up in the 7th inning in a key spot, you can hit for him and then immediately put Dalton Rushing in behind the plate. Or it doesn't have to be Rortvedt. If, insert bad hitter here, not even a bad hitter. Say Conforto is in the lineup. Unfortunately, the Dodgers facing 2 right-handers. Conforto is going to be in the lineup at some point. And if
I don't want it. I don't want
lefty on the mound for the Reds and Conforto's coming up, you pinch it for him with Will Smith, and then you put Alex Call in the lineup. In a spot, whatever. If Will Smith's on the roster, that's what it's going to be. And so that's why they would still have to carry a 3rd catcher, because Will Smith won't be a catcher in the wild card series. He may be on the roster, but he won't be on the roster as a catcher. And so,
Still a hell of an assassin to have. Career .293 hitter off the bench as well, or I should say specifically as a pinch hitter, over 50 plate appearances in his career, 965 OPS. So I guess it would come down to, do you want just pinch hitting Will Smith, or do you want pinch hitting plus maybe some defense and some late game speed with Hesong Kim? I think I take Will, just because been there, done that, and the dude's a gamer.
Yeah, I was. Oh, good.
Well, I have a question to the Conforto aspect of it. Conforto this year is a full, I think, 170 points OPS worse against right-handed pitching, 140 points worse. He's a 615 OPS against right-handed pitching this year, a 756 OPS against left-handed pitching this year. Kike, at the flip side, I believe is at 580 something against right-handed pitching. He's at 578. So I wonder if maybe they read that and just say, hey, we'll take the 30 OPS points and we'll just let Kike play like a better outfield than Michael Conforto. Yeah. It's something I'm looking at when you're looking at splits, because that's where Michael Conforto's at as a bat. He's a split guy, but he's reversed this year.
I've wondered about that. But if Michael Conforto is not there to start against right-handed pitchers,
what's he doing?
Then why is he on the roster? Because Alex Call can be a defensive replacement. Ha-Seong Kim can be a pinch runner. Michael Conforto can't be either of those things. So if he's not a good enough hitter to start, why would he be a good enough hitter to be a pinch hitter?
That's where I'm worried. I'm not worried, but I'm wondering if he even is, because those are pretty drastic, like 140
and
OPS
with what we've seen,
we've
seen of Keek Timber the last few days, the Dodgers may just be ready to say it's Keektober, and I've always hoped for it. You guys know, the way I've phrased it has always been, I wish I believed in Keektober as much as you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Not I don't like Kike, I don't, I wish I did. And so, I do love that Kike seems to have learned how to hit, because my big concern has always been, yes, he'll be better in October, but better than terrible might still be bad. But if Kike goes from, he's actually been decent lately, and if he can be better than decent, suddenly we're at good. And I wouldn't be shocked if Conforto isn't on this roster.
Taking Kim over Conforto?
Now that we know they're not facing Lodolo, and so the only 2 games we're guaranteed to play will be right-handed starters, it would be more surprising, even with the reverse splits that Kevin talked about. But, when you look, I was texting with DMAC this morning about Kim versus Cole.
And how I feel cheated on.
And how
don't watch Saturday's show.
But because Call can be a defensive replacement in the outfield.
Yeah.
And he can be a pinch runner. He's going to be faster than Rortvet or, whoever else you want to insert there. Not as fast as Kim, but because Kim can't play the outfield the way that maybe people hoped he would be able to, maybe Call makes more sense over Kim, but Call and Kim might make more sense than Conforto, since if Muncie's going to be back, so third base isn't an option for Keektober.
Yeah.
Keektober has to happen somewhere, and it might as well happen, in the outfield or something.
Yeah, so in my initial version of this, I did have Kike Hernandez in the starting lineup, and in my mind, I had him in left field, but then I also forgot about the existence of Tommy Edman. Now it comes down to if they decide to put Tommy back at second base, which is a strong likelihood because of the state of his ankle. And then Miggy Rowe is on the bench, which he has been great, and he'll find his way into a lineup for sure. But that might still be your most maximized lineup there, with Tommy Edman batting ninth, having Kike Hernandez playing left field. And maybe Michael Conforto was the placeholder all year long for Kike to get his starting role in Keektober.
Here's one question related to that.
Yes.
If you decide, okay, our outfield is Teoscar, Paez, and Kike with Edman at second base, do you go Kike in left and Paez in center? Or do you do the old switcheroo?
I think so.
Just
because Paez has played so much center this year, he's not terrible at it. Obviously he's better on the corners, but the fact that we haven't seen a whole lot of Kike in center, mostly have seen him in left, some left, but mostly have seen him at third. I just don't know that they would go that route for anybody but Edman. Bumping Paez to left.
Do you go Edman in center and put Kike at second? Because Kike can play second too.
Yeah, that's the other side too.
It kind of depends on what they believe they can get out of Miguel Rojas. In the past 30 days, he has a 774 OPS. Let me see if I can get it against left-handed pitching last 30 days. He's got a 1.262 OPS, which I'm going to guess means he's been pretty bad against right-handed pitching last 30 days. Yeah, he's got a 575 OPS against right-handed pitching in the last 30 days. So I wonder if they believe Miguel Rojas is just the better option over Tommy Edman, who we know is not the best. I mean, if you're talking about which side of the plate you'd prefer him batting, you would definitely prefer him batting against left-handed pitching. But Miggy has also not been that great. It depends on what the organization thinks is better. Whether it's a left-handed Tommy Edman or Miguel Rojas at second base, because if they're gonna do that outfield that you just talked about against right-handed pitching, I think I'd prefer Tommy Edman at second base over Miggy if you bear the stats out. But this, for what it's worth, this is a very good problem to have.
Just about to say that.
It's a really good problem to have. It's like you have two guys that you're comfortable with defensively, and they're threats no matter who's on the mound for the other team. So it's a good problem to have. Preferably, I would right now rather have Tommy Edman, assuming his ankle is healthy. We have seen a little bit more pop from the left side out of Tommy Edman.
Yeah, we got a couple of super chats, by the way. Noah throwing back a little bit here with 199 super chat, bringing up that 2022 roster. Miguel Vargas was on that roster, didn't get a single at bat, so there is a strong likelihood. There's going to be, if there's a Ha-Seong Kim, not going to get an at bat. If there's a hopefully Michael Conforto doesn't get an at bat. What's your name again, middle guy, Jeff? You really think Conforto ends up being in the starting lineup? Huh? Are you buying in on it?
If Conforto is on the roster.
Yeah,
I expect him to start at least one of these 2 games against the righties if he's on the roster. I don't know. Like, I know we've all just kind of resigned ourselves to Michael Conforto.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's like
I don't. I absolutely don't think they're going to do that just because of momentum. They did it last year. He survived this year.
6 months. How?
But they never had the whole team healthy. Like right now,
that's fair.
Assuming Muncy and Edman are good to go, there is not a position player, talking the 7 non-catcher positions, who's not healthy right now. Yeah. And that I don't think has been the case all season long. And so, Conforto survived the trade deadline because they didn't get Stephen Kwan. Conforto survived after that because somebody got hurt, or, some of it was because Teoscar Hernandez decided to be even worse than Conforto for a couple months. He just kept surviving, but it was not really because of anything he did. Mm-hmm. And now that there's not really, now that you have to look and say, okay, would we rather have Michael Conforto or Ha-Seong Kim on this roster? I so wish that Kim had, hit even a little bit the last few weeks.
Yeah. I think 2022, I think Conforto makes this roster this time around, like especially after the decisions they made last year to cut certain guys and not let them onto the roster. I don't know if Conforto does, because Ha-Seong Kim brings actual value from the bench. He's a better defender. He's got great speed on the base pass.
Most importantly, the wheels. Having the wheels available late in the game, that's intriguing. It's very interesting.
If Conforto's on the roster, he'll be a starter, but he brings nothing off the bench. So leave him off the roster and let's have role players, And
we're not facing any lefties. And that's and I think at this point you can't.
Well, they're Cubs fan.
You can't ignore a whole season's worth of splits at this point.
Yeah.
Like you just can't. He's been better against left-handed pitching. We're facing 2 righties. He's not great against velocity. I don't see a world where they should start Michael Conforto. I think wholeheartedly that outfield should consist in some way of Andy Pages, Teoscar Hernandez, and either Alex Call or Tommy Edman. It should be one of those 4 guys, or 3 of those 4 guys, excuse me.
And then they get a 4th guy, and that's going to be Kike, and we're going to be the first team ever.
Lodolo is not pitching. To the gentleman who is saying, I don't know ball, Lodolo is not pitching. They announced it today.
He's not starting. He's going to be available in relief. We're going to talk about that. Relief.
They're not facing a lefty starter.
Yeah. Buttoning up this particular section of the show and piggybacking off of what you just said a minute ago, Kevin, about the idea that, hey, this is a lot of good problems ahead. We got 999 from Richie Flores saying, pound for pound, the Dodgers roster is loaded, period. Anything less than smoking the Reds in 2 is unacceptable. Andrew's laptop needs to stay the hell away from Dave's office and the lineup card. And always, one of my favorite things about putting tweets on the screen here is watching Jeff try to read them, because his camera's clearly in the middle of the screen.
The camera's right here.
Yeah. You can get 2 monitors and put the camera right in the middle. That's what I got going here.
I have 2 monitors, but then I can't look at right now. I've got my camera so that it's right behind, my face is right behind it, and then you guys are right there, so I can look at you and look at Kevin, and I still look like I'm mostly looking at the camera. Professional podcasting here.
That's right.
I do appreciate that Richie continues to rail against the sabermetrics that have ruined his life even before they've done anything. But I will say the Dodgers' best chance of winning this series is to play the percentages that give them the best chance to win this series. And those come from the laptop. And I also think it's kind of crazy to say anything other than a sweep is unacceptable because by definition, winning the series in any way is acceptable because then you get to play the next series.
Correct. And I need to do it because if you're going to put easily verifiable stats, I'm going to verify them. MH, I don't know what Dodgers team y'all been watching, but Conforto's been relatively productive this past month or two. Conforto against right-handed pitching has a 663 OPS and a 90 WRC plus versus left-handed pitching in the past month. He has a 1 OPS and a 224 WRC plus. Again, we are not facing any lefty starters. So again, proves
until game 3. If there's a
game three, if they need it, but like if you're at a game 3, like other things have gone wrong.
Yeah.
So it's just, again, that proves the point that like Michael Conforto against 2 lefties or 2 righties on the bump the next 2 days. I don't see a spot. I don't see the need. I don't.
Well, we spent 25-ish minutes on the roster. Wasn't expecting that. Good talk. I thought this was enjoyable talk. Earlier in the chat, also, we got a super chat from ADK499 saying that apparently Reds podcast, we're talking a lot of poop today. Reds aren't even little brother. There's some homeless dude who wandered in. Let's show them the door. Let's talk about that Reds series. Just a little bit of tail of the tape. Of course, the Dodgers a 93-win team. The Reds an 83-win team that very much just kind of backed into the playoffs because the Mets flushed the entire season and entire second half and did not make the postseason. But there's your bracket. Of course, you see Kevin's Cubs on there. Dodgers playing the Cincinnati Reds.
As soon as the Cubs advance to the NLDS, I'll take the jersey off.
You don't need to keep defending yourself. You need to let us keep bullying you about it, though.
Yeah, I don't need to let you do anything.
I'll boot you. How dare you?
That's true.
Dodgers went 5-1 against the Reds during the season. They last faced off in late August. Dodgers swept them. A little bit ago, Gavin Lux back at Dodger Stadium said, we're a very different team than we were the last time we faced them. And I mean, a month? I don't know about all that. Over the course of the season, Dodgers scored 30 runs, allowed 15. Hashtag the better team is the Los Angeles Dodgers. This much we know, but yeah, we're here. We're here, Jeff.
Yeah. Another thing we know, having watched the Dodgers in 2021 and 2022 and 2023, is that being the better team doesn't always mean anything in October. And so that's that's why the postseason is so stressful, because we all know, whether we admit it out loud or not, that the playoffs are a crapshoot, that anything can happen. A worse team can beat a better team. The shorter the series, the better chances of the worst team winning. And so, yeah, the Dodgers are going to be favored in this series. Over on FanDuel, it's minus 270 right now for the Dodgers to win this series. And so Dodgers are absolutely the favorites. But if the Reds win game 1, which in one game, anything can happen, Hunter Green is a very, very good pitcher. Yeah, I believe Blake Snell's a better pitcher. I believe the Dodgers offense is better than the Reds, but it's not crazy to think the Reds have a 42% chance of winning tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so 42 times out of 100, the Reds take a 1-0 series lead. And then suddenly the Dodgers have to win 2 in a row. Like that's the thing that sucks about life, is that the Dodgers
we're getting existential with it.
Yes.
Yeah. That it's the only problem in my life, is that the Dodgers could potentially lose to a worse team in the postseason. Mm-hmm. And people would say they choked, or that, it's a systemic failure and blah, 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 blah. And really it'll just be, that's because baseball's stupid. I just really want baseball to be stupid in our favor again this year, like it was last year. Like game 5 of the World Series last year, baseball was so stupid in our favor. And I like that. I want baseball to be stupid in our favor again.
Yeah, I just thinking about that, hearing you say that out loud, the glass kind of shattered. I could see you just absolutely losing your crap at everybody saying some amalgamation of what you said there. They choked, they XYZ fired Dave Roberts or whatever it is. Even though I asked Dave Roberts last season, like, isn't baseball stupid in that you can do the same move 5 times and maybe 4 times it works out the way you expect, and that 5th time it just decides to not work. That's just kind of how baseball works. But everything is set up for the Dodgers to win this series, like Jeff said. Minus 270 favorites on FanDuel for the series. Tomorrow, they're also the favorites, minus 197 to the plus 164 for the Reds and Hunter Green. Overall, looking at the World Series odds, this has actually changed since Bleav sent this our way earlier today. But the Phillies are the ones favored to win the World Series, plus 450. Mariners and Dodgers tied at plus 550. I love being an underdog, baby. I love it.
Yeah, and for anybody who doesn't know sports betting, this is simply because the Dodgers have to play this wild card series. If the Dodgers are fortunate enough to advance to the NLDS and face the Phillies, I would put money down that the Dodgers will be favored in that series and to win the World Series should they advance. You know, like Jeff said, 3-game series are the absolute worst because you just like the worst team has a better chance of winning. Anything can happen. It's baseball. It's how it goes. You just got to trust in your guys. And at least if you've got to play a 3-game series, at least the Dodgers got in healthy. Whereas healthy as they could be. The starting rotation is healthy. We're not going in with Clayton Kershaw's arm falling off, Emmett Sheehan, and Lance Lynn. Like, at least they've got the best guys to win a series. They just need to actually execute.
Yeah, I mean, having this starting rotation, it feels very good. It feels almost unreal to have the amount of talent. Our buddy Owen, the Reds fan, is back in the chat saying that he wants Tanner Scott in all the time, constantly. Appreciate Owen hanging out.
Not against the Reds, he doesn't. The Reds are very bad against left-handed pitching.
So that's true. He'd probably want Blake Trinan. I do want to say, in response to the previous super chat about Reds fans and stuff, I like Reds fans. One of my good friends is a Reds fan, and you know they haven't done anything to me. Like, it's been a long time since the Dodgers and Reds were in the same division. I have forgiven the Reds for losing on purpose against the Giants in 1991 in the last series of the season. I've forgiven the Reds for that. Beyond that, I think it's exciting that the state of Ohio a month ago looked like they were getting 0 playoff teams, and now they have 2. And, that's cool. So I love that Owen is here talking Dodgers with us. And, I hope he tells his friends and everybody. But I think we'll be nice to Reds fans because this is just a good, fun baseball series with no pretend rivalries or anything like that.
I'm so excited, legitimately so excited to watch baseball. Obviously, I expect and hope the Dodgers win tomorrow and this series, but it's going to be fun to watch playoff baseball and go, oh my God, if the Dodgers lose this series, we're going to have to answer so many questions and hear about it for so long. You'll get the trolls about the Reds, blah, blah, blah. You spent so much money. It's like, who cares? I really don't. At the end of the day, it'll suck for a while, but it's not nearly as bad. Oh my God, the feelings I had when we played the Giants and the Padres. This is not even comparable.
And the best thing about Cincinnati is that when Owen puts a comment like you just did about the city needed this after Burrow's injury, because Cincinnati doesn't have an NBA team or an NHL team, I know he's talking about football. Clint's favorite sport.
Big time football guy. Go Birds.
If they would stop putting cinnamon in their chili, Cincinnati would be a great place.
Is it? They put cinnamon in there?
Cinnamon. Skyline chili has
We're not getting into Skyline chili right now.
Skyline chili is bad. Everything else about City, I loved.
We could trash Skyline chili after the Dodgers beat the Reds.
Have you ever seen the made-for-TV Babes in Toyland movie from 1986 with starring Drew Barrymore and Keanu Reeves?
No.
Yeah.
It starts with them. It takes place in Cincinnati, and they're driving in the snow, and they're singing a song about Cincinnati. And I kid you not, every time in my life that I've had to spell the word Cincinnati, I sing the song in my head to remember. Because the song goes, we come from Cincinnati, Cincinnati, the best town in Ohio, Ohio, USA. At first they called it Cincy, but because
I could boot you too.
Cincinnati, so they say. The girls are pretty in this gritty little city. The fellas are the feistiest I've seen. And when it comes to ball clubs, the Reds and the Bengals mall clubs. And then they get in a car accident. And the rest of the movie
I will say, cinnamon and chili sounds pretty good. So
It's
I don't know
not.
what
No, Skyline chili is a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
Cinnamon chili sounds like what? You never had like chocolate in your chili or root beer, Coke or anything like that? Never like made chili with any of those?
No,
It's good. It adds
like
like a nice it's not sweet. It just adds like a different, element to it.
Yeah, I don't need that. Chili's got all its good elements. I don't need cinnamon.
You guys have no taste.
Okay, Clint, what do you want to talk about then?
I'll tell you what. If it was Saturday, I would use a hard F for not effing chili. How about the Dodgers? How about position by position advantages? I think we're going to talk a lot about the Dodgers being better than the Reg. Then the Reds of Cincinnati, and I have a button here stealing this graphic from the MLB.com. I guess we can go position by position. Who do you think has the better catching unit? Is it the Reds or the Dodgers? Kevin, I'm gonna let you lead this one off.
If it's Ben Rortvedt, it's the Reds, because as long as Stevenson can hit a baseball, it'll be the Reds.
Jeff,
I'm looking right now to see.
They have Tyler Stevenson and Jose Trevino.
So Stevenson had a 98 OPS plus this year.
If there's no Will Smith, it's almost a push because you have two guys I would say the biggest flyer is Dalton Rushing, but he's not going to be the starter. It's going to be little Ben Rortvedt, which is the right call, and I love him desperately.
98 OPS plus or WRC plus is still much better than Rortvedt, and Stevenson's actually a good blocker. He has some. Are
you looking at Benny's numbers as just a Dodger though? That's the
even as a Dodger, he's
a Dodger. He's
pretty close.
In my heart, his OPS is 2,000. I love him 3,000 OPS.
Rortvedt's OPS plus with the Dodgers is 79.
Yeah, so
get out of here with your facts.
All right, well, you can feel better in a second. I mean, first base, obviously.
Yeah, let's get to all the other positions where the Dodgers.
Yeah, let's get. Yeah. I feel pretty good about future Hall of Famer Fredward. Who said it in the voicemail last night? Von effing Freeman last night. Freddie is just very good at hitting a baseball, even when he's bad at it in his own mind. It's the Dodgers favored in a landslide over, was it Spencer Steer? I think is their starting first baseman. I feel pretty good.
Sure.
Some pop, Spencer Steer. He's got some homers. This team can hit some sneaky homers. We know they can steal some bases. But anyways, moving on. Second base, they do have McLean in there. What's his name? Matt McLean.
Matthew McLean.
Yep,
yeah,
Matt
it
McLean. Is. I think this kind of depends on how they end up using Tommy Edman or Miguel Rojas, realistically, but
I don't think it's close. I think the Dodgers still have the clear. I think they're better at second base. Matt McLean's a good defensive second baseman, but he has a 74 OPS plus, a 643 OPS. Tommy Edman and Miguel Rojas both clear that. And if you're putting Tommy Edman at second base, is still an elite second baseman. So
Matt McLean had the third most plate appearances on the Reds this year and posted a 0.0 WAR. Yeah, Matt McLean has potential.
I disagree with that, with their assessment. I think the Dodgers.
He's a good base stealer. I think he's not a good hitter.
He's got that going for him. What, 220 isn't good anymore? 300 on base isn't good anymore?
300 on base. 300 on base percentage.
Yeah.
That's like D Gordon if he stopped taking the few walks he took.
And you know what? I still think I'd take the Dodgers in this scenario. Obviously, they have McLean on this particular graphic, and this isn't being a homer. I just like the fact that both either Tommy Edman or Kike Hernandez, I blew that. I was going to put Kike last. Tommy Edman or Miguel Rojas, both guys that have been there, done that, did it last year. And the same with Kike Hernandez. If he ends up getting time at second base, he's going to do something magical because that's what he does. Give me the Dodgers at second base over the Reds. Third base, moving right along. Max Muncy versus who? Who's been their guy there? Espinal.
Santiago Espinal, yeah.
I think that's a max if he's healthy, if he's right, if he could at least draw some walks like we saw him do in the LCS last year.
Recently, Brian Hayes, because they traded for him.
That's right. They got Brian Hayes. Still.
So you trade.
So they upgraded from Espinal's 57 OPS plus to Hayes' 78 OPS plus.
I'm still taking Max.
Great defensive third baseman, Brian Hayes.
Elite.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Platinum.
Even with all that defense,
I'll take Max.
Overall this year, he had a 1.5 WAR. Despite that's with a 2.4 defensive WAR, 1.5 overall WAR.
What's Max's? Because he missed a bunch of time. Out of sheer curiosity.
I don't have that.
Do you think we're supposed to know Dodger stats here, guy? Come on.
Oh yeah. I mean, sorry, he's been hurt, so I don't pay attention to hurt guys.
Max together
Muncy is 3.6 WAR.
Yeah, 3.6. There it is.
Oh jeez.
Max
he's missed so much time.
It's Max in a landslide if he's healthy and if he's right. This much we know. And again, another guy, like all of them, with postseason moxie, with one of the biggest, World Series homers you're going to see in your lifetime, and that 2018 Game 4, can draw a walk, can play a pretty decent third base. If you're looking defensively, definitely the Reds have the advantage there. But this is also the Dodgers can throw Kike Hernandez or Miguel Rojas at third base late in the game if they're trying to protect a lead, and we're going to feel a lot better. Do we even bother to talk about shortstop because we know it's Mookie? As good as Elly De La Cruz is,
Elly De La Cruz is their best player.
Which is really Mookie.
But this says a lot about Mookie. Elly De La Cruz is their best player. Like if you were to say to anybody, like your average baseball fan, what position would the Reds have on the diamond better than the Dodgers? I guarantee you most would say Elly De La Cruz at shortstop because he is, not a 5-tool player, but he's got speed. He plays it okay. He has not a great defense, probably bad, but also good at the back switch hitter.
Bad.
Yeah, bad is the word I'm looking for. But he's still without a doubt their namesake. He is their best player. And Mookie, again, moving from right field to shortstop, he has the most defensive runs saved of all National League shortstops this year, has really heated up this last month and a half. Mookie Betts is going to end up, if the Dodgers win the World Series, Mookie Betts will end up being NLCS or World Series MVP. They do not get that far without that man.
You got an MVP in you there, Jeff?
We have to get past the wild card first.
Well, I know that. You get past the NLDS too.
Yeah, the fact is, Elly De La Cruz's offensive numbers this year were just barely better than Mookie Betts's, and that's with Mookie being terrible for 2/3 of the season.
Yeah,
and he still almost made it all up. And when we look at the defense, UZR for Elly De La Cruz, or no, they don't track that for whatever reason on FanGraphs. DRS -5. Defensive run save for Elly De La Cruz, +17 for Mookie, I think.
Yeah.
Outs above average for Elly, -3. Elly is a bad defensive shortstop. Elly should go the O'Neill Cruz route and move to center field, where they don't hit the ball on the ground at him, and he doesn't have to throw the ball from shortstop to first base, because those are the two things that he's bad at. Also, making contact with the baseball, he's not super good at either.
Yeah,
which Mookie Betts is. High key, Mookie Betts should actually win Gold Glove at shortstop this year. He has been the best by the numbers. He has been the best defensive shortstop this year. Nick Allen, I believe for the Braves, fell off pretty hard down the stretch.
He lost his job.
So
because he couldn't hit.
Yeah, I mean that's
exactly.
It's a different conversation. He's definitely going to be in the top 3 voting. Mookie's got my vote. Not that I have a vote, and it definitely comes off as a homer vote. He was good. He was good. Even when he was bad with the bat, he was still pretty damn good to very damn good defensively at shortstop. So, once again, the graphic on the screen is accurate. Mookie Betts is the better. Dodgers have the better shortstop over the Reds, and this is what happens when you have a almost $400 million payroll versus $100 million-ish. I don't even know what the Reds are. I don't know if you can have a roster under $100 million these days. Looking into left field, Austin Hayes is not Michael Conforto, and we don't really know how the Dodgers are going to use left field. So toss up.
Austin Hayes is a legit lefty masher. 949 OPS against lefties this year. And so against Blake Snell, we'll see. I don't know how he's done against Blake Snell in his career. But against a left-handed starter, Austin Hayes is a pretty good option. And you'll definitely take 949 over Michael Conforto. Even against righties, this year is 708 OPS. So that's still, I believe, better than Conforto. Yeah, definitely better than Conforto. And so, if Michael Conforto is a Dodgers starter, then yeah, Austin Hayes is an easy winner. If Keektober is starting and it's Keektober, then it gets closer.
What did Kike put up last year again when he decided to go into Keektober mode? What was his OPS? It was besides being very good postseason.
In the
last
postseason,
yeah, specifically
pulling it. Yeah.
Make it
so last year
808. It was still only an 808 OPS, which is good.
It's still really good for a role player.
Yeah, role player that took over. Couple big homers
and plays good defense wherever you want him to. Like I don't.
Kev, what are your thoughts on the left field situation? Because I buy in on, I still buy in on Jeff. I think yeah, probably fair.
Austin
but
Hayes, like legitimately,
if
he's
Kike
the
is
one
out
bat
there,
in the lineup.
What if though? What if they end up actually deploying Tommy Edman in center field and now left field is Andy Pages? Does that change everybody's tune? Because I think it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pages against Hayes, it's Pages.
Yeah. Which
but,
chances are it's going to end up being that
I
route.
believe Hayes has, if I'm not wrong, Hayes has played some center field as well.
Not this year, he hasn't.
Not this year. Okay.
Yeah, back with the Orioles, he played. He came out as a center fielder. He hasn't been a regular center fielder since 2020. Hasn't played any center field since 2023.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving to center field, of course. This has the Dodgers because they have this particular graphic has Andy Pages in center. I do feel in my heart of hearts that Tommy Edman ends up being the guy out there. And Tommy Edman versus TJ Friedl. I don't know. Kind of a wash, kind of a push there. Tommy has the experience.
If you go by how they did this year, Edman struggled this year.
Yeah.
We don't
open the season great.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the ankle injury and everything, don't know how much of the struggles had to do with the injury. I'm hoping for whatever the Tommy Edman version of Keektober is. I don't know if you go Tomtober or Ed Mober. Ed Mober sounds really bad, so maybe we should do that one. It's time for Ed Mober. But I mean,
TJ Friedl probably takes it there.
The only way to put Tommy Edman over TJ Friedl is if we are being very optimistic about Tommy Edman.
And presuming that Tommy Edman plays like he did at the end of in the postseason last year, which I don't think you can guarantee. That being said, Tommy Edman, I believe, if I'm not wrong, has looked a little better recently. So.
Yeah, the big thing with Friedl is that he'll take some walks. I think he led the Reds 81 walks this year.
I lied. He's looked terrible.
Who are we talking about? Edman?
Tommy Edman.
Oh yeah. You had on your Edman tinted glass. I mean, we don't expect a Cubs fan to know that much. I had to bring it back one more time. Right field, Teoscar Hernandez versus who's playing right field for this team these days? Somebody?
Noelvi Marte.
Oh, that's a name. I was gonna get that.
Well, he basically kept them in the
robbed the homer to end the game.
Robbed a homer, and not to end the game. I think it took him to 2 outs. So, it was close, but still,
Teo.
It's Teo. It's actually closer than I think we would like it to be. I think Noelvi Marte probably plays a little bit better defense than Teoscar, and Teoscar has heated up, but he has struggled this year. So
remember,
with 2 righties on the mound, I don't know. I think this is a push. I do, unless Teo shows up in October, which I'm less convinced he will do this year. Because last year we had a bunch of big moments for Teoscar Hernandez where re-sign Teo and he had all these huge late inning and big inning RBI, and he hasn't had that this year. So I actually think it's kind of a push.
He did early until he hurt himself the first time. In the first month and change, I think he was honestly
the first month
outperforming.
On fire.
What I'm hoping is what Dave Roberts told Alana and I a couple weeks ago. It's about the focus with Teoscar Hernandez, how he becomes a different player when the games are bigger, when you're playing more important teams or whatever. Each and every game they're going to be playing for the next month, hopefully the next month, is more important than the last. So hopefully he's locked all the way the F in and we get, the same Teo that we saw last October. What are your Teo and right field thoughts, Jeff?
I hope that he remembers how to hit. We've seen signs of it the last couple weeks that, he's been good old Teo a little bit more. Even good Teo still takes some swings sometime that makes you think, have you ever seen a pitch before? And but then he gets a mistake and he pounds it, or he gets a slider that doesn't quite get all the way out of the zone, and he pokes it over the right field fence. Like Teo is so strong. He takes some swings that, not quite Shohei Ohtani level, but swings that you think, okay, that shouldn't have been a home run. And then it goes 400 feet. Potential to be very good. He needs to lock in. I don't know if it's a focusing with Teo. It looks like a focus thing to us watching at home when it's like, okay, I knew he was going to throw you a slider a foot off the plate. Why didn't you know? Like everybody except you knew that pitch was coming, and you still swung at it. And maybe a little bit of locking in might help Teo a little bit. I'm optimistic about Teo in the postseason, though.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about a lot of these dudes. I mean, just going through this tale of the tape here that we're doing, or whatever we're calling it, Dodgers seem to have just about every positional advantage. Maybe there's a couple pushes in there at catch without Will, and in center field, depending on how they end up using Edman and Pajes and all of that. We got a super chat, $2 from Timmy. We got a few super chats I'm going to get to and mix in here, but Timmy saying Michael Conforto Legacy Series and LCS MVP is coming soon.
Okay.
Tell you what, Timmy.
Sure.
Timmy, if that happens, I will buy you a Baconator. I promise you, I will buy you one full, delicious, perfect.
Not even a
Baconator.
son of Baconator.
Not even son of Baconator. Such a good name for a sandwich. Son of Baconator. Because they usually would be like a Baconator Junior, right? But they called it Son of Bacon. All right, let's move on to starting pitching.
I also think, real quick, when we're talking about the offense,
yes,
and we're going position by position, it's worth noting that it's not just, the Dodgers won 6 positions, the Reds won 3 positions. No, the positions that the Dodgers win, they win by a lot.
Yeah.
And you look at the overall offensive numbers, the Reds OPS plus this year as a team was 90. They were 10% worse than the average team offensively this year. The Dodgers 114. Yeah. Like the Reds are not in the postseason because of their offense. Mm-hmm. They're in the postseason despite their offense because their pitching kept them there. And so when you're comparing all these offensive positions, like it's not even close. Even though the Reds won a position or two, it's just not close.
Poor Owen, the resident Red fan of the chat says, "Yeah, our offense is not good." But I'm trying to give it to you, but like for right field, the Oscar versus Noelvi Marte, it's like I want to give it to Noelvi, but like he's also only played like 48 games in right field total. But at least the Oscar's like played.
Like, do you want to give it to him just for the parody? Or
no,
because
for out of fairness, like out of like objectivity, I want to like lean Noelvi Marte because I believe Noelvi Marte is a more consistent bat currently, but the fact he's only played 48 games in right field and he's about to go play in Dodger Stadium, and like that's not always an easy right field to play at times. I don't know if I can give it to him because like you got to have some experience there.
One of the things that benefits this team, that Reds team, a whole lot, and Dave even said it earlier today in his pre-series presser, is they don't have anything to lose, and this goes to kind of a through line that Jeff was bringing up, that with that you kind of play loose, you play free, you play a lot easier, and maybe they can kind of sneak up on the Dodgers and pull the rug out from under them. But
you can't lose focus. It's the playoffs. You cannot lose focus.
You got to have deep focus. So if we're talking about how the Dodgers are beating the Reds essentially in a landslide in all these positions, we got to move to the starting pitching, and we did get a super chat, 199 from Grayson a little bit ago. Appreciate you, Grayson, saying last time Snell faced the Reds was something else. Of course, he threw a no-hitter against the Reds last year.
He should do that again.
I would like him to do that again. But when you're talking about the starting pitching side of things, this is just absolutely no contest. No disrespect to Hunter Green. Very, very good pitcher. No disrespect to insert other pitcher that they are throwing. Was it Abbott for game 2? I think it was, right?
Abbott's game 3. No, it's Zach Littell game 2.
Yeah, that's right. Little Littell.
No, it's Lodolo's on a bullpen.
That's what I said, Little Littell. Still, you have a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. You have the runner-up to the Cy Young Award this year. And then you have Shohei Ohtani, who, when he is going to be on a mound, is going to be an MVP and Cy Young Award winner at some point down the road. I feel very, very good about the starters. That's if we get as far as Shohei. I feel very good about the starters the Dodgers are running out there. Jeff.
Yeah, and, Hunter Green, like you said, very good. Dodgers faced him once this year, scored 5 runs in 5 innings, 3 of them earned. Hunter Green grew up a Dodger fan, because he's a smart dude. He gets it. I wish him nothing but the best on every day of his life except for tomorrow. He is not as good a pitcher as Blake Snell. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean he can't outpitch him in one game, but he is not as good a pitcher.
Yeah, and the decision to not go with Lodolo in game 2. I know he was arguably, one of their aces or their ace this year. Jeff, I mean, we talked around it. You said you were very excited about that idea that they're not running him out in the starting capacity.
Yeah, we saw Lodolo pitch against the Dodgers twice this year. Dodgers did win both of those games. Once they had to come back and beat the Reds bullpen. The other time, you remember, Lodolo pitched 5 innings, and 4 of them were perfect. It was just one of the innings he happened to give up 3 or 4 runs. He had a rough inning. But, I mean, Lodolo made the Dodgers look really bad. I think between the 2 games, he struck out like
a lot.
Guys, something like that.
He struck out 6 guys. Struck out 6 guys on August 27th.
17 strikeouts. Yeah, 17 strikeouts in exactly 10 innings against the Dodgers this year. I don't want to see I know the Dodgers have been one of the best teams of baseball against lefties this year, et cetera, et cetera. Zach Littell is a significantly worse pitcher than Nick Lodolo. And so Littell instead of Lodolo is a big win for the Dodgers.
Now, there is the potential, and I'm going to pause for a second because I was laughing there because I just feel bad for Owen watching this. We love you, Owen. Listen, the Reds are in the playoffs, and nobody's going to take that away from you. We're happy for you. But
they can still win. It's a 3-game series. So
but I do wonder if you could see some shenanigans, some tomfoolery, like we saw with
Craig Counsell.
The Brewers back in
2018 NLCS.
Where he ends up coming out after one batter, and there is Lodolo because he did just throw 1 inning yesterday, and he's a man.
He's ready. His last start was on the 25th.
That was a side day for him, so that's why.
Yeah, it was a side day for him. Yesterday was on 4 days rest.
I in the back of your mind, guys.
But would they Go ahead, Kevin.
Go ahead, Jeff. No, you go.
All right, I was just going to say, if the Reds were to advance, if they pulled those shenanigans and suddenly you don't have Green or Lodolo, and maybe not, what's his name, the guy who's pitching the 3rd game, Andrew Abbott, available to start, their chances against the Phillies in the NLDS would be drastically reduced if they pulled those shenanigans. Doesn't mean they won't, because your chances of winning the NLDS are even worse if you don't make it to the NLDS. But I don't know if Terry Francona is quite the shenaniganer that Craig Counsell is.
Also, all I keep thinking of is somebody say shenanigans. Thank you. I could do it because
good old Office Space.
Isn't that Super Troopers?
Is it Super Troopers? No, it's Office Space.
Super Troopers.
Welcome to Shenanigans. It's Office Space.
Bet.
But no, I
bet.
You guys argue. I'm going to look it up and see which one he's an idiot. Okay.
Jennifer Aniston works at Shenanigans in Office Space, and she's not willing to wear.
But who says shenanigans? Did somebody say shenanigans?
Oh, that's in.
Super Troopers.
That's Super Troopers.
Well,
I thought you were referencing the.
You guys heard it here first, folks. What's his name? Kevin owes me $400,000 now.
Anyway, I'm a firm believer that teams should avoid doing what their opponent would like the most. And if you're a Dodgers fan, you like that they're not pitching Zach Lodolo or Nick Lodolo. Sorry, not Zach. God, too many L's, Z's, all that.
Yeah, it's definitely their fault for having those names.
Yeah.
Jerks. It's their fault.
Big old
just like it's
jerks.
Their fault for having the same color jersey as the Cardinals. And I couldn't remember that Sonny Gray stopped pitching for the Reds in 2021 or 2. But anyway, I'm happy that they're not pitching Lodolo against the Dodgers. And I think that's a mistake for the Reds kind of on that fact alone, because I think the rest of the Dodgers are also happy they're not pitching Lodolo or starting Lodolo against the Dodgers, because I think he's just the better pitcher. So if you've got to go with your best guys, and I think this is a miss for them.
Could be. Any final thoughts on this, Jeff, before we move on to I would say is maybe I don't even know. Dodgers probably win, but it's still like a question. The bullpen. Get into the bullpen.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the bullpen. We do have a couple super chats related to the bullpen. Appreciate. Hopefully David's still here because he sent these a hot minute ago, and they just didn't make sense to plug in randomly until now. But $5 earlier from David. Appreciate that. Saying Conforto can't lose the game, but Trinan and Scott will melt down given the chance. Please DFA these two players. Follow that up with the $10 super chat. I'll hit more gong and things. Putting Trinan in the game is like giving people matches at a fireworks factory. 11.5 ERA in September. Seriously, let's start a petition to DFA him. So David is feeling confident about some of his, I don't know if we want to call them bullpen leaders, but a couple of the human bodies that will occupy roster spots in the bullpen.
It's a good thing we don't have the graphic of my T-shirt that I had mocked up that says I don't know what DFA means, or else we're going to have to pop it up there. They're not going to DFA anybody because all they got to do now is leave them off the postseason roster if they don't want them on the roster. It doesn't need to be DFA'd. But yeah, it's not like there's other better options, you know?
So I've been stuck on the super chats for a while because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget those, but I just saw this one from AMC. Kevin streams from the kitchen because room is filled with Cubs bobbleheads.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I loved that. That was such a good comment.
Hey, what do you say? Kevin's Cubs are going.
So for what it's worth, I didn't realize they sang a song because, like, for the longest time, every Cubs game I went to, they lost. So I didn't realize there was a song until earlier this year when they beat the Dodgers. I was like, oh wait, there's
such a poser. All right, well, let's actually focus.
Hey, Kevin, your jersey has that embroidered crane or whatever, but it really needs more flair.
Needs more flair. See, shenanigans.
There, that's an Office Space reference for you.
From shenanigans. She works at Shenanigans.
Yeah, but the line I said was from Super Troopers.
But you said something say shenanigans is the Bleav shenanigans. Okay, whatever. Anyway.
How about this Dodgers bullpen versus the Reds bullpen, gentlemen? I'll be honest, I don't know much of shit about the Reds bullpen. I know they have Emilio Pagan. Is that the same one that used to be a Giant?
Padre.
Oh yeah, there you go, Padre.
Padre. Wait, can I interrupt really quick?
Yes.
The restaurant on Office Space is called Tchotchkes, not Shenanigans.
Oh my God.
Anyway, let's move on.
Waiting is Shenanigans. Oh my God, it's one of those really.
Underrated movie, Waiting, by the way. I'm not a big movie guy, but, you know, underrated.
It's Waiting. It's Waiting with Ryan Reynolds.
On paper, if everybody pitches to their to the numbers on their baseball cards, the Dodgers have far and away the better bullpen because they have Tanner Scott, who is a $74 million, $72 million pitcher and was very good all the years leading up to, well, not all the years, but some of the years leading up to this year. Blake Trinan has been very good. Where the Dodgers will get more of an advantage in my mind, they have Emmett Sheehan. They have the other guy, Justin Wrobleski, out of the bullpen. It looks like Alex Vesia found something again. He's got that dog going. He's got the strut going again. And importantly, Jack Dreyer was very good all season. But more importantly, the Dodgers have starting pitching that can hopefully go 6 or 7 and limit the exposure for the bullpen and survive this series in just 2 games. Kevin, I want your thoughts on the bullpen first. The bullpen matchup.
I just like Denny Cortez's, or not super chat, just the chat. I'll never send back food because of waiting. Excellent scene. Yeah, a little bit of a seasoning salt. So the Dodgers bullpen this year, by the numbers, look terrible, but they basically used the entire regular season as a glorified tryout to see who they could trust come the postseason, which we are now at. I sincerely believe we will not see Blake Trinan or Tanner Scott in any kind of high leverage. I would almost bet a good amount of money we'll see guys like
your
Roki
favorite
Sasaki.
Cubs jersey. Would you bet your Cubs jersey?
My favorite Cubs jersey. Yes, I would.
We'll
see Roki Sasaki.
I honestly would bet
Emmett
that
Sheehan,
we do.
Emmett Sheehan, Roki Sasaki, Alex Vesia will kind of be the high leverage guys because those are the guys who have looked the best and pitched the best in those roles. So yes, now that we're at game time, rubber has now met the road. I do give the edge to the Dodgers bullpen, despite what the season numbers have said. They're not going to be playing games. I think the days of putting Tanner Scott in 1-run games in the 9th inning are over. I think putting Blake Trinan in bases loaded situations are over. If it gets to that point, it will simply be because Blake Trinan found it in a couple low leverage situations earlier in the postseason. But I do think the Dodgers bullpen has basically they haven't figured it out necessarily, the bullpen, the organization has figured out who should be in the bullpen is where I think we're at this point.
Hey, by the way, Scotty, our boy Scotty G in the chat just joined.
Scotty G.
Blake Trinan will get a leverage outing, and that's exactly what I'm saying. One of them, you're going to see either a Tanner Scott save game 1, or Trinan is going to get.
And here's what I'm hoping for.
And I don't hate it.
I'm hoping there are no high leverage situations. I'm hoping that by the time Blake Snell leaves this game, Dodgers are up 6-1, and it's just, hey, oh sure, Tanner Scott, you want to take down an inning? Okay, yeah. We got Ellie De La Cruz coming up. Let's turn him around about right-handed. Sure, you can have an inning, or you can have 3 batters, and whether it's an inning or not, you get 3 batters and go get them. But yeah, I mean, the offense hopefully will make this bullpen completely irrelevant, not just in this series, but throughout the postseason. That's really what the Dodgers need, is for the offense to make it not matter.
Yeah, that'd be best case scenario. If we see Blake Trinan in a 4-run game, sure, absolutely. I think you've got better arms, living arms, in the bullpen in the 9th and 8th inning. I think that's right now led by Alex Vesia. He has been the dude all year. He's been the dude last year. I don't know what that guy. I mean, I know what he eats and drinks at this point because I'm pretty sure it's just straight caffeine.
Yeah.
But that there is literally no moment too big for him because he makes like regular season like outings in June way bigger than they need to be.
What I would love is to see him celebrate and get all yacked and not injure himself doing it like we saw in the I think it happened in the division series last year. I don't know if it was from that, but I'm going to say he hurt himself celebrating. And also, couple of more things. Scott says that, Kevin, you need more pieces of flair in this kitchen. Thank you, Scott. Also, he needs to be not wearing a Cubs jersey. I think we could all agree about that. And by the way,
I'll stop wearing it as soon as they win or as soon as the Dodgers play them.
And to shout out Scott Gearman for joining us over on Dodgers territory today. If you guys missed it, it's great. Always great talking Dodger baseball with that dude. Really, really good stuff. Gritty stuff from Scotty G. Check that out. If you have not watched it yet, it still works because there wasn't a Dodger game today. So go check that out. And subscribe over there. Alana and I are trying to get to 11,000 subscribers. Here, we're trying to get to 20,000 if you guys want to help us out. And another thing to say. So on the software that we use to stream the show, it lets us put separate super chats, so we make sure that people that are funding us get the love and support that they're given to us, but it doesn't tell us when people join as members. And Owen, our Reds fan friend, earlier joined the channel. He became a supporting member of the channel, a friend of the show. With that, he does get access to our Discord server, so we're gonna have a Reds fan in our mix if he wants to join us. If you guys
we've already got Jenny the Giants fan. So.
This is true. We do have Jenny the Giants fan, and it's a lot of good times hanging out with friends in the
and
Discord.
Kevin the Cubs fan, for that matter.
The Cubs fan. If you guys want
to, Jones says they should donate to let me buy a new Dodgers or a Dodgers jersey in general. Just don't tell anybody who's donating that I have 3. So just keep that on the down low. Keep that between us.
Anyways,
folks.
Scan that above me if you also want to join Patreon. You trying to hide?
No, I'm trying to make it look like your head on my body.
Oh, I got you. We're Frankensteining here. Scan the QR code. All the links are in the description if you want to support the show through Patreon or YouTube members. $5 a month will get you access to our Discord server. And I'll tell you what, it's postseason time. Now's the best time probably to join up and hopefully have a lot to celebrate together, or we could all be mad together. Kevin Uhas with the $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Uhas, for the support and love. Appreciate you, my dude. Says Kevin is on more on stuff than Ronald Belisario for wearing an LA hat and Cubs jersey. I'm
dissociating right now.
Okay.
I assume it's reference to drugs. Ronald Belisario got busted for drugs at one point or something.
Yeah. Did he? I don't remember. I tried to.
I know that Donald Belisario is a producer of police procedurals on TV.
Here at this point in my life, 2025, I really try to avoid thinking of
tested positive for cocaine while on the Dodgers in 2012.
Let's go. That's my dog, right? Bullpen dog right there. Pat Dwyer saying, looks like Jeff is still in his mom's basement. Does that mean he's not going to be at the stadium tomorrow? No, he will not.
No, yeah, long story, but if the Dodgers get to the NLCS, I will be at game 1. And that is instead of being at the game tomorrow, because maybe somebody who got the tickets had a mix up on which game they were getting tickets to. So
right, we just got to get to the NLCS then.
NLCS game one will be better than wild card game one anyway.
Some people's kids. Rosa Moza, if I'm saying that right, which I'm probably not, saying $1.99 super chat. Dodgers 2-0. That's what we would like to see. Just move on. Go face the Phillies, which then we could start to really, feel our hearts going. All right, last thing we should talk about, guys, just any predictions, general thoughts about the series. I think we've had enough general thoughts. So how about predictions? Jeff, do you have a sweep? Do you have a loss? Do you have a series going 3 and Dodgers winning? What is your situation?
Would that totally ruin my shtick if I predicted the Dodgers losing the series, since my entire thing is go ahead and be optimistic. It doesn't hurt anything to be optimistic.
You can turn heel, man. It's okay.
It's hard for me to picture the Dodgers not sweeping this series, honestly. Hunter Green is a good pitcher. Blake Snell is better. Zach Littell isn't good. And so you add all that up, the Dodgers are just a significantly better team than the Reds, and hopefully that matters. But yeah, Dodgers in 2.
I got Dodgers in 2 as well. You're talking outside of Paul Skeens, you've got 2 of the top 5 pitchers in the National League going for you in 2 games, and a bullpen. Like, they can give you length, and you're going to throw it over to a bullpen who not only has found something, but at high leverage, and you've got one of the best offenses in baseball. I don't know how the Reds can overcome it, but it's stranger things have happened.
Yeah, Snell, Yamamoto. Yeah, Dodgers in 2. Yeah. Real easy, and then we'll be back here doing celebration stream. I mean, we're going to be post-game, well, post-gaming at least, but we'll celebrate on Thursday, and we'll look ahead to the Phillies, which that series starts on, Saturday, but I will be out of town Friday, Saturday, back Sunday, just for everybody to be aware. So,
and I don't know if I said it wrong, but somebody in the chat thought I said
home
the
game.
NLDS. Yeah, it'll be the first home game of the NLCS, which if the Dodgers are playing the Cubs or the Padres in the NLCS, it'll be game 1. If they're playing the Brewers, it'll be game 3. Mm-hmm. So that's the game.
Yeah. I don't have much else to say. Do we want to do like a pregame here tomorrow as well? What are you guys thinking?
As well, pregame it, postgame it, all mid-game it.
Blackjack believes Snell is not better than Hunter Green. And
who?
You're wrong.
You said there's somebody that's actively drunk? Oh, Blackjack.
Yeah,
thanks for hanging out with us, buddy. You wrong. You are dead wrong. Well, either way, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Big shout out to a lot of the friends in the chat. Of course, Scotty G for joining us. Scott Gearman in the chat. But all the regulars, IB Strokin, Diane hanging out with us. Richie, Elisheva Jones, BC, all the friends. Our new friend, Owen, the Reds fan. Appreciate you guys being here. ADK, Devin, everybody. I'm just looking through names now. I just want to make sure people get some love. We appreciate you guys. Postseason is here, baby. It's time to make this thing count. One more $10 super chat. Pat Dwyer, thank you very much, Pat. Kevin, why don't you read it because you know words.
The thing according to Pat Dwyer, the thing that he's not looking or they're not looking forward to is if the Reds do anything significant on offense, they're going to be left saying, "Who?" Yeah, that's fair. Unless it's Gavin Lux, then you'll know.
Pat is a he/him. I know Pat. He's a good dude. Mm-hmm. He probably owns a Twins jersey, I would guess, actually.
But rest in peace, Rocco Baldelli. Hey, look, there's actually some love in here for Jeff. Mike Link Musics. I like that guy in the middle. Is it your brother?
Not enough to type that guy in the middle's name, but do you guys know what Rocco Baldelli's nickname is?
The Rock?
No, close. It does have that syllable in it. The Woonsocket Rocket. He's from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, I think, and they call him the Woonsocket Rocket. I think it's one of the best nicknames in baseball.
Things I would have very much lived my life happy without needing to know. But guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us here on this edition of All Dodgers. Shout out to FanDuel, a presenter of the show. Shout out to Bleav for having us on their network. Shout out to you guys for supporting the show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Really helps us out in the chat. And that's Diane said, smash that like button on the way out. But nothing else to say. Just Dodgers in 2. That's all I got.
Dodgers in 2. Let's do
it.
Bye.